been acting like a wild man, sleeping like a child. You're so luminous and vibrant. I'm always in bloom for you. Always in bloom. Always in bloom for you. So many times I've stranded.
Boom, what's up guys? Welcome to the UGUE Life. This is UGUE Life. Back out here again. I know it's been a minute since I posted anything on this channel. We've just been hard pressed and hard focused on the main channel where we do the paranormal stuff and the cool adventure stuff. But we've been working behind the scenes on a really cool project. Many of you have already seen it all already. I have been building something awesome. Basically, in lieu of everything that's going on in the world right now, we've been looking to be a little bit more a lot more self-sufficient and actually end up growing our own food. I actually showed a little bit of it before the last garden update. We're growing leeks, we started some tomatoes, things like that. We started a ton of seeds. Many of you guys have seen this guy right here. This is this greenhouse. This has been an amazing tool. I was worried. I was actually worried a lot about a greenhouse like this because there's so many out there on the market, so many bad reviews for a lot of them, seams breaking, things like that. This one, nothing. I mean, I'm beating it up. The animals have beaten it up. I've tripped over the freaking pins. None of the seams have broken. None of the strings have torn off. None of it. It's actually a pretty solid thing. I mean, we're not sponsoring anything. I'm just saying when a good product's good, a good product's good. But you've already seen this. But I want to show you. I want to show you the goodies. I want to show you the goodies because, boom, this thing is beautiful. I did a ton of research. In fairness, extremely ambitious, but I had a lot to think about. I needed something that can hold water. I needed something that would work for me. I needed something that Grams could come out here. She just had a birthday. Happy birthday, Grams. Can't really have her bending down and doing crazy stuff. So I wanted her to have something that she could come out here, mess around, plant some things, prune some things, check on fruit, things like that, without having to go crazy, hurt herself, not feel good, etc. But I also wanted something that looked beautiful. So this is our raised bed, obviously, if you guys didn't know what it was. Something I had been doing research on for quite a while. If I was going to build it, I wanted to build something that we would enjoy, that not only we would enjoy, but it would last a while. I looked on, you can buy a lot of them already pre-done, a lot of the metal ones, and they're fantastic, like the birdies and stuff like that, awesome. But it's just not exactly budget friendly for the money, in my opinion, right, at least right now for my situation. It's great because you don't have to worry about anything. You just get something in, put it together real quick, and you're done. We got way more bed for the budget in this case, and I've seen a lot of beds out there like that. There's 1.5 million ways to build a raised bed. This is just what I went with. We got these galvanized metal roofing panels, fairly cheap. It just takes 3 panels for this build. This is an 8-foot bed by 4 foot. It's about 4 foot tall, and it's leveled up into the ground, which, by the way, pain in the neck in my situation here, because this is hard packed, solid red clay. So anybody has to deal with red clay, you know the pain and suffering when it comes to digging in this stuff. And there's so many rocks in this from this being backfilled at some point. And I had to cut out all kinds of roots from this freaking guy right here. But that's okay. That's okay. Got it done. It is dang close to level. Not exact, but it's the best I could get it. I went, now wood is absolutely insane right now. And it just seems to get more and more expensive. Everything's more expensive, but wood, definitely expensive. You can get your hardwoods, your cedars and your redwoods, things like that. It'll last you a long time. That's cool. But I went ahead and went with just like this is spruce here, white spruce. You can go with yellow pine, something like that. And I chose to treat mine. Now, I didn't treat it with any kind of chemicals. I'm growing vegetables. I'd like to keep it somewhat organic just to try it out kind of thing. And, you know, health and all that good stuff. So I picked up some linseed oil, which apparently is gold because you can't find it anywhere. We got the last 2 bottles at Lowe's that we could find, and I put 2 coats of linseed oil, which is basically just a flaxseed derivative, on the wood. If you didn't coat it, if you didn't treat it, it would rot away probably in 3, maybe 4 or 5 years. This gives it a few more years, which is what I'm looking to get out of it. Just as much life. Plus, it really brings out all the color, all the grain, and it ended up being kind of beautiful, you know. It just took us, we went ahead and did 2 coats. But this is it. Now, many of you have reached out on Instagram, stuff like that, asked me, what the heck did I fill it with? Because it's freaking huge. 2 things. One, I went with the UGUE culture method. If you're not familiar with UGUE culture, it's actually kind of a German method of planting, dates back to like medieval times or something like that. It's pretty insane. I'll drop a link in the description so you can look it up. But basically, the idea is that you mound up above ground lots of different debris, whatever you have around, you know, stumps, tree limbs, things like that from your cuttings. And you mound it up. You use wood chips, you use your leaf debris, your lawn cuttings. Throw that sucker in there about halfway, and I went a little bit heavier, higher than halfway. I was only looking for about 6 inches to a foot of actual soil on the top. Now, the cool thing about that is what that will do is over time, that will compost down, become really good soil, brings life back to the soil underneath. Also, as those tree limbs and those stumps and all that cool stuff start to break down, it actually acts as a sponge and actually holds water, which means you save money, right? Because you don't have to water as much. It's pretty cool. So you're building soil, you're building soil life. It attracts all kinds of the good critters and things like that, and sometimes the bad critters. But you're creating a really cool environment. It's just really neat. Something that you don't really have to manage all that much. Every season or 2, you just fill it up because it tends to sink down, obviously, as things start to break down. You top it off with some compost. Few options for filling it, of course. The actual dirt cheapest way that you can do it is either make your own compost or go to your local municipality. A lot of times they will actually have their own compost, and you can get it for free if you live in the area. We have it here. They have it in a lot of different places. So check it out. Dirt cheap. As long as you can go get it, it's free. So pretty cool. You can make your own, but that takes time. In my situation, basically, I tossed in any of the old potty mix that I had, and topped it off. Mostly filled it with mushroom compost and manure compost. In this case, I bought it from bags. Saved a little bit of money in that case, because if you go to your local hardware store, you go in, you get you go to the busted bag section, you know, the uglies. A lot of times they'll give you like 50% off the bag, so you can save a lot of money there, because you're going to need a good chunk to fill it still. Even if you're only filling about a foot. It's pretty crazy. It adds up, but you know what? You make it back if you're successful. You make it back when you're growing your things. You make it back because you're feeding your family, things like that. So it's at the end of the day, personally, I think it's a worthwhile upfront investment if you're willing to put in the time, willing to put in the work, willing to build it, willing to fill it, kind of thing. You know what I mean? I don't know. That decision's got to be made to you. You know what I mean? For me, because you're not filling the whole thing, it wasn't as painful in the pocket. Now, go over a couple things I've gotten here. By the way, all this mulch you see here, free 99, and I got this crap everywhere. This is actually from the power company. A really cool thing. If you reach out to your power company, you reach out to a lot of your tree cutters, a lot of your land clearers, things like that, you can actually, even your local municipality, you can actually manage to get free mulch, because anytime these companies have to take this stuff to the dump, they typically have to pay to drop it off. So anytime they can offload it or unload it for free, they will do it. Now, keep in mind, they don't just give you a few bags. they're gonna dump it somewhere. So make sure you have the space. In this case, we had a nice little space over there. They came by. Granny didn't even realize that's what they were gonna do. She assumed they were just gonna cut some trees here and then grind them up. But they brought a semi in here and dumped a whole pile. Cool thing about it is it's been sitting so long. It actually, a lot of it did compost, so it did have some really good stuff in it. Did have some mycorrhizal fungi, which if you don't know what that is, it's a fungus that actually builds really cool symbiotic relationships with the roots of your plants and helps them to grow. And it's just good stuff. It's just good stuff. So we kind of lucked out on that. But talk to your people, make some phone calls. A lot of times you can get this stuff for free. You go and you try to buy bags of this stuff, you are going to be spending a lot of money, and it just isn't worth it. Either that or you're going to be renting a wood chipper or whatever. Yeah, so don't even worry about that. Just make some calls. More than likely you'll be able to find something somewhere, even if you have to go get it. In my case, I have an SUV. Some days, you know what, I miss my truck because, man, I have needed it so bad, but, you know, it is what it is. Now, I had some leftover wood, and I was trying to figure out a trellis situation. Eventually I'm going to get some like cattle panel, something like that's very inexpensive that I can utilize for trellising, for like cucumbers and beans and things like that. But we have cheese, so we have a bad kitty. He likes to go in there. We have an issue with snakes and rabbits and things like that he likes to pick on and mess with. We had to put a lot of this fence and stuff underneath this little house to keep him out from underneath it. So I had a little bit extra. So what I did was I just took some staples, some staple nails or whatever you call them, or kind of made a little rigging. And I don't know, it's a little bobo, but it looks nice. You know what I mean? It looks pretty. You got to use what you got sometimes. They call that redneck ingenuity. And but it's pretty cool. Look, so we've got bell peppers. First of all, we got bell peppers up the yin yang, the wazoo. And so there's 3 of them in this little pot right here. We've got 3 right here. Man, that's already 6 peppers. We've actually got some more, couple for possible replacements in case one of these gets sick, and some of our friends and stuff that are going to grab it. Plus there's a guy down the street that's gardening. I'm going to go down there and see if he wants some, since I have some extras. But we've got these 3 beautiful eggplants. These are Black Beauty eggplants here, doing really good. These I'm excited about. These are really interesting. They're going to take forever, so it's going to be a little bit of a time investment, but these are cantaloupes. Not going to worry about trellising these. The idea being is because this is a tall raised bed here, that, oh, here's a little buggy. Hey, little buggy. This is just going to come over the side and out. So I think that might look cool. I've seen it done before. It looks neat, and it works. It works for the space. You know, that way I can get more plants into this bed and utilize the space that I have. So this one's going to be coming out here in this corner. This one's going to be coming out here, and that one's going to be coming out back there is basically how that's going to work. And of course I've got some pole beans. I think these are Kentucky Wonder pole beans. These are regular string beans. I planted like 4. 2 of them were eaten when they were seeds by some kind of a larva or something like that. One of them was a little weak and just basically snapped off at the root, and it was done. So I've got 1 left. Plenty more seeds though, so that's good. But this thing, I want to see what happens. I'm working with this little trellis here, but so far so good. It has bounced back. Now this one, I'm excited about. These were kind of a request. A lot of you guys were yelling at me in the live stream on the other channel to get these. These are lemon cucumbers. So I've got 2 plants here. These are doing, look at the little hands, little hands, little cucumber hands. These are Markemore 76s. These were in pots for way too long, so I am babying these. That's what this trellis is for. The idea is they come up and then come down. It's going to look real cool if it works out. And if I need extra room, I can work those over here as well. Also, I have a tomato here that I can trellis up here, so that's pretty cool. That's a regular beefsteak tomato there. As Lord knows, we've got a million of them. But they're doing okay. They're actually got rid of a lot of the bad leaves, and they're starting to actually bounce back. They're actually starting to grab on. So I'm hoping. And just in case we planted a couple more seeds, we've got our yellow crooknecks. Yellow crookneck squash, man, this is beautiful. Beautiful. These are yellow pear cherries. Little guy coming up. These two right here. Yellow pear cherries. Don't worry about that. That's just some cinnamon basil. I'm kind of messing around at propagating. It's been super hot. It's weak. I don't know if it's gonna make it. We're not gonna worry about that right now. And these beauties right here are all beefsteaks. They're all beefsteaks. So that is pretty cool. We got a lot in this bed, and there's still a bunch of room. I actually plan on being able to interplant some things as these things get bigger. I might try to plant some warm hardy greens in this, utilizing the shade of these plants as they grow bigger. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But if you're wondering what I'm going to do to trellis these, I'm actually going to use the Florida weave method. So I'm going to get some of those green fence posts. We haven't gotten them yet because these aren't going to grow for another day or so anyway, because they're still getting they're still rooting, basically. Because basically, if you've ever done tomatoes, you want to basically sink them as deep as you can. Every single hair on the main stem of the tomato will produce roots. The deeper it goes, the more roots it has, the healthier the plant, basically, is how that goes. They were already planted deeper once. I went ahead and planted them deeper still when I put them in this. This is just more of that here, more of that compost. And you see some of it is actually already breaking down. That's how long this stuff's been sitting out. It's already breaking down, becoming soil. But so far, man, it's been great. Now, as you can see here, that's not bowing out. We actually went ahead and got this from a construction company. It's in the area, and they came out, and when they delivered it was pouring down rain. So this is actually was warped. I had straightened it back as much as I possibly could at the time, but basically these two main boards here, these 8-foot boards, were bent. So that's just the way it looks. It's not actually bowed out. I went ahead and added a center structural support there and 2 on each side to keep that from happening, and so far it has worked out great. All I used was some standard construction nails for the wood, and these I used roofing nails for those, or roofing screws, I'm sorry, to put those in. Man, took a little while. It was scorching hot when I put it together, but man, I am happy with this. I could put some of the measurements and stuff in the description box below if you guys are interested. Like I said, there's 1.5 million ways that you can go about building one of these. You know, so many different videos out there, so many different ways to do it. You can even do it entirely of the roofing panels I've seen. So many different ways. Just do what's best for you if you're planning on building it. I will say, if it's your first one and you've got time, maybe go smaller. Like I said, I needed to have something real tall, and I didn't want to just slap together some 2x10s and stack them, because it just wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to look good, and I really want something that Grams can come out here and enjoy, and it's beautiful and it's pretty and stuff, and you know, is what it is. Me, I care that it works. And so far it works, but at least Grams come out here, Cait can come out here, and it looks pretty and they can enjoy it, you know what I mean? Looks cool on camera too. But let me get you guys the update on our cherries. Now, I don't know if any of you guys have had issues with your tomatoes right now. I've had a few. First of all, summer has been ridiculously hot, and if you've grown tomatoes before, you know anything about them, over 85 degrees, they tend not to ripen. In fact, they tend to stop producing tomatoes. They don't grow tomatoes, and the ones that are on the vine already do not ripen. So it has been a pain in the neck trying to keep them cool enough to continue to ripen, but we have been successful on that. I might do a video on stuff that I've done. Not that it's necessarily right, it just worked. I've had a heck of a problem with this one. First of all, you can see this is a determinate variety. It's a determinate cherry tomato variety. It was only supposed to be about 4 to 6 foot. It is about just almost a foot deep already because I planted it deeper, and it is about a foot taller than me. So way bigger than advertised. You know what I mean? So I've had a heck of a time with these big storms coming through to get this trellis, because we went ahead and went with some of these nursery pots. Bad idea for this size plant, but hey, you live and you learn. So again, I've had to get a little redneck ingenuity in here and stick some sticks from some of the tree cuttings in here and try to just rig it up. We've got this like shepherd's hook thing that holds bird feeders and stuff like that in here that's broken. We had it. I'm just gonna use it to eat, and I put it over here because it has late day sun, but it's protected by this tree from the like crazy high temperatures. The issue we were having is the back porch is completely concrete, so when it gets like above 90 to 100, the porch itself is already 100 plus, simply because it's concrete. So these were really struggling, and there's not a ton of leaves left on it because we just got tomato hornwormed up the butt. It's crazy. Come out here and leaves are just gone, man. Those suckers, they're fatties. They're chunky monks. They just go through these things and they grow like crazy and they just steal all your stuff. But I will say, we taste tested these today. I happen to have 3 and they are so good, but we got some good ripening, but we were looking at some high temperatures. As soon as I got the temperatures down, and thank goodness we had a little bit of some weather come in. We didn't get any rain, so it's dry as a bone, but we had some lower temperatures, so it started producing its last flowers. And the way determinate plants work is once those last flowers go, they will go ahead and fruit, if they get germinated, and that's it, done. So once all these fruits are done, this plant is done. Pull it out. Those beefsteaks over there and the yellow pear cherries, they are indeterminate, which means they will continue to produce, continue to grow all season long until the first frost, and they can get up to like 8 foot, which is just wild. But this is just insane. These are the 2 very first plants I planted, other than maybe a couple flowers in the ornamental garden. But man, beautiful. Now, just a quick update. These are our bush beans. These are actually pretty cool. Bush variety beans are the same as regular pole beans. They're kind of viney, but they're bred to bush like this. They are determinate, so once they fruit a few times, they're done. You pull them, put another one in. It's pretty cool. But they've got beans. We've been pulling these off. These are cool because they're not string beans. They're just regular old snap beans. They're stringless beans. It's pretty cool. This one's already producing baby beans. This one will happen a little bit after that because I succession sowed them, and then I've got more coming in. This is a hybrid yellow squash right here, and we got baby squashes. We got baby squashes everywhere. Baby squashes. Got baby squashes. So I'm hoping we start getting some fruit. This is my zucchinis. Now, I did a little bit of an experiment. You're not really supposed to do this, but I planted 2 in this pot. I want to see what happens. But as you can see, I got little baby zucchinis. Let's see if I can. There we go. Got little baby zucchinis, and there's a couple little tiny baby zucchinis in there already. This guy, whew, crazy. Now, most of you have seen this stuff already. I've been sort of trying to keep these leeks alive, man. They are not happy with the heat. Some are doing great, some are not so good. My cinnamon basil starting to bush out for me. I've been trimming and pruning and things like that. So there isn't a ton, just because I keep cleaning it out. Because plus we're eating it. It's delicious. I love some basil. Chives have been eating on clearly. They're doing okay. Chamomile, man, is suffering, but we're getting tons of flowers off of this. It's trying to swallow up my pineapple sage, but that's okay. These are starting to size up finally. I did go ahead and thin a lot of them out just to give them more space. My dill here, kind of sad. but it's flowered. Well, that's good for pollination. I'm gonna save the seeds. Plus you can eat the seeds. That's pretty cool. My basil, finally, this one was real sick, and I really cleaned it out, and it has come back in full force. It is beautiful. This is my regular Harvest Select basil. This is the Emerald Tower. Purple basil is one of my favorites just because it's real pretty. And then your standard sweet basil right here, your Genovese. But look at these, man. They were getting thick. These are thick boys. Damn, boy. There's a thick ass boy. Look at that. Crazy. Crazy. These are starting to finally thicken up with the rosemary, but it's tough because you can't overwater your rosemary. They do not like it. So it's been sort of a juggling act. I'd like to move them, but I did the experiment over here where I tried to pull and transplant, and they weren't happy about it. So I'm not gonna risk it anymore. It's too hot to be doing stuff like that. Pretty insane. So got lots of stuff, lots of stuff, tons of stuff. We're gonna end up actually giving away to a lot of friends, family, and some of the local neighbors and stuff that I've seen put up gardens, because you got extra, you gotta help each other out. It's one of those, it's that time, man. People are struggling. So these are all of our giveaways and things like that, plus some flowers we're trying to save. But real quick, let me give you a quick update to the front garden. I'm actually working on a video where I'm kind of explaining the whole moss thing and things like that. So hopefully I can get that one done. But I want to give you guys an update because it looks fantastic. It looks so beautiful. Just wait, hold on. Look at how gorgeous this is, people. 7 Angel Garden. We're still missing 2, but we're working on it. It's really coming along. We got our rock wall going, but look, the moss has taken like a champion, and it is soft, and it is fluffy, and it is luscious. That is crazy. Like I said, I'm working on a video explaining how to do it, what to do, things like that. If you're interested in doing some alternative ground covers and things like that, so many different things you can do. But this is fun. This is fun stuff. This is stuff that I rescued from down in the woods, and it comes out in carpets, man. It's finally starting to take, finally starting to green up. But look at these New Guinea impatiens, man. Those are pretty cool. And this tea olive that was about dead, Grams gave up on it pretty much. And look at it, new growth. It is happy as can be. Pretty crazy, but as long as you top feed your trees, they should be okay. Top feed your trees. But these are the Queen of Hearts. We got some purples and some reds. This stuff, of course, it's just going wild. We had some issues where it had died back a little bit because a lot of it went to seed. We trimmed it way down, came right back, which is pretty cool. All of our Asiatic lilies are finished, so we're waiting for them to brown so that I can trim them, send life back to the bulb, because these are perennials, so we want to send life back to the bulb, and then I'm going to trim those back. Look at these guys. Look at that. These are the regular impatiens. These were suffering for like weeks, and then all of a sudden just boom everywhere. A big old giant dome. It's pretty insane. These are our snapdragons. They used to be hanging and went over there. We've been working on these to try to get them to come back a little bit. Honestly, it's way too hot. It's not the season for them, but they're holding on. It's a little bit of an experiment. Plus, we saved the seeds, snapdragons. These are fuchsias, and these are pretty much done. These are pretty much done until I think they're gonna bloom again in the fall, but I'm not too sure. But we're working on this one. Look at this mint. Look at all this mint, ladies and gentlemen. Spearmints. That's lemon time, of course, but spearmints, regular mints, all doing crazy. My regular peppermint is bushed out like crazy. We got bee balm, we got lemon balm, just gone insane. It's looking for more places to go, and we've got time. Of course, it's a sad day because my flat leaf parsley is bolted. It's too dang hot, and my oregano is flowered, but that's okay. Oregano, so much flavor in it. Really holds flavor really well even when it flowers, so that's cool. I don't know how long that's gonna last, but I'm gonna be harvesting this and making some compound butters and some oils and things like that soon. This stuff, once it bolts, disgusting. Super bitter and gross. Our dahlias, look at these. These are beautiful. Went ahead, I had some extra wood, built up some stakes here to keep the dahlias up. And these are beautiful. Yellow and some pink and whites. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Chocolate mints and my sweet mints. So good. Absolutely beautiful. But look at this luscious, luscious green moss. I found some really cool rocks that had moss on them too. So, and it's actually starting to propagate out, which is pretty cool. Now, we've had some issues. We had jonquils. Freaking squirrels and rabbits ate them all. So, not a fan. Not a fan. So we ended up loading up with some cool marigolds. What happened here? Oh, it's just kind of drooping. Kind of drooping. Yellows and orange marigolds. These are doing pretty good. These are blanket Arizona blanket something or others. Oh, wait a minute. There's the card right there. Arizona red shades blanket flower. They need full sun, so these are going to get moved, but beautiful flower. And our phlox, of course, is done. It's not the season, but take a look. Look at that. Huge pile, huge freaking pile of freaking mulch. I haven't even made a dent. I haven't even made a dent in the mulch situation. It's crazy. I'm telling you, man, just reach out to your tree companies, reach out to your valve company. They might just hook you up for free. Just know you're getting a whole truckload. You're getting a giant truckload. But anyway, guys, that's it for today. I gotta get in, make some food, but been working hard. We got more videos coming on the main channel, more videos coming on this channel. It's been awesome. It's been awesome. It's been awesome. Thank you guys so much for your support. I love each and every one of you. But of course, stay strong, stay blessed, and of course, stay savage. Boom. Peace and love. God bless.